Back with your racehorses now. Very happy to start our list with Drebin. Man, he looks like a tank. I saw him the other day. He's gigantic. Very big colt. Our horse now in the stall. He starts training this week. Complete bill of health. In fact, that time off will go a long way for this colt. He has, he raced all his 3-year-old year, running in, touching his knees, a little sored up a little bit, and then out of the blue, fractured that left hind coffin bone, which is so rare, so rare. But healed completely. It's nowhere to be found now under X-ray, which we knew it would. It should not. It's very rare that there's a re-injury. There's a very low re-injury rate for those, for the way the check was and the way that the crack was, the fracture was, and how it healed. It's just non-existent. They don't re-injure them. Not usually. And Drebin is 100% sound and starts training on Wednesday. What do we got here? Tenacious Hanover. I talked about him in this week's video. I like to get him in a pool. I like to race this horse I don't love racing out of a pool, but this guy in particular is trying his hardest to stay at it and do his work. His right front's bothering him a little bit. His left hind's bothering him a little bit. We're just trying to get him to a point where he's sound and comfortable, and it's challenging. Tim and his crew have done a great job managing him, but it's not without its challenges, that's for sure. Time Is On My Side is who I'm coming over for tonight. I want to race Time Is On My Side in Scioto and see how he looks for next week. We'll either likely be attending the Send It In invite at Scioto, which will be tough, or the Casey Kane Memorial at Batavia, which I don't know if I want to race Time Is On My Side on a half. I'm torn on that. Completely torn on that. Away you go. Out you go. Over to your lane. There you go. Bye-bye. Winter Soldier. Back now. I told everybody, Winter Soldier, you keep it up. Like they said, he was striking and squealing and roaring. But he is a stud that's fresh in a new burn. So there has to be a level of acclimation there. You have to give him some time to settle in. I don't know whether you watch my videos or not, but Cindy messaged me last night. She's taking care of Winter Soldier. She goes, Anthony, Winter Soldier was a perfect gentleman today. And I guess he was again today. So again, you don't want to it's almost like I'm not going to say who it was. One of our clients has a tap in my phone or in my car. I was just talking about how Foxy Seaside was. I'll paraphrase. He said the Northfield odds maker must be on drugs. He said there's no way Foxy Seaside is 25-1. So that's good to hear. That's good to hear. All right, Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier. Yeah, I just said I'm not putting up with an ignorant study horse in the barn for no particular reason. So he'd want to get his act together, and either he watched the video or he just calmed down because Cindy said the last 2 days he's been a perfect gentleman, which is good to hear. He'll be racing soon. Agent Black. We schooled him the other day. I just want to get a feel for where he was with his fitness. He's 3-4 weeks away from racing this horse. He's just not screwed down tight, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We can help him with that. But it was good to get a mile in him. What a polite horse he is, too. Whoever broke him did a fantastic job. Very polite. And it's Sebastian K. Now, Sebastian K. Yep. Sebastian K had passed away a couple of years ago, but the offspring that we had were all crazy. All of them. This guy, just the sweetest big giant horse you'd ever want to see. So we'll see how he is. He'll be racing probably in a month. I think he'll be ready to go. Save America will head back to Ontario where he'll begin swimming here in the next I think Smitty said there's not a truck going until a week after Old Home Week. The initial truck yeah, I burped, my bad. Yeah, I've been drinking Red Bull. I get a little gas. What's that? It's Red Bull Zero. What are you talking about? No, it's not. It's not true. It's just Juneberry or whatever. It's not zero. Save America's the first truck is going to the States. There's just no need to be shipping them all over the place. Just I said, well, when's he going back? He said, well, the ship after, the week after. I said, no problem. So just put him on the truck the week after, send him right to First Line. He'll start swimming right away at First Line. Spitfire Overseas will come back in the next week or so. I know I might have said that last week too. There was just no rush to get him right back in and right back going. He's been fit and always has been fit. He didn't go out by sickness. He didn't go out by lameness. It was just timing. Wanted to give him a few weeks off and we'll bring him right back in. Greatest ending races tonight. He's 8-1 morning line, so I'm eager. I'm hopeful he'll race well tonight. JK Victory outside again. Just seems like he either catches a tough class or he draws the outside. Poor bugger, he just can't seem to catch a break. Looks like money. Now I'm not going to be driving him again.
Police
this week.
reported ahead.
I'm not going to. Thank you. I'm not going to be driving him this week. Also, Dave Palone's going to drive him again. Now this will be strike 3. This will be his third go around. But it's not fair to Dave. He doesn't leave well from the inside. You have to know the horse. We had a good conversation about him. I said, Dave, when you go to say go, if you put him on the gate and you go to say go, and he's a little flat-footed, he'll come back to you. And then about 3 strides later is when you can let him sail. With the 6-hole, you just have to keep him to his work, and about 3 strides off the car, then you drop the hammer on him. They said, you won't have a problem with him this week from out there. And he said, yeah, he gave me that feeling, they get up there quick. Said, yeah, 26-4, he never leaves good from the inside. When he leaves from the inside, I try and time the gate and push through as hard as I can from the outside. He'll leave much better from the outside. You get him to the front, you won't have a problem with Looks Like Money this week. Even if you're close, it's obviously a drop in class a little bit. He should be fine. And I said, just 3-point blue chip, please. Drive him how he wants to be driven. You're going to have to duck him from post 8. Don't go out of there with him. If you don't mind, I said, but he's just in limbo right now where he doesn't know if he wants to be racing. And he's a little pouty. We don't want him to swing. We don't want that pendulum to swing the other way where he doesn't want to do it. Then we're screwed. So just race him how he wants to be raced. And he knows. I don't have to tell Dave Palone. He knows. He can tell. He said, he felt good. I got him to the outside. Once I got him to the far outside, I'm like, now we're cooking. And he just kind of sat on me. He said, yeah, it's just him being pouty. So anyway, he knows the horses. He'll be fine. Neptune, he's got to go to Pennsylvania. This horse, in fact, he probably shouldn't be racing there this week. Only he had a little quarter crack blowout, and we wanted to take good care of it before we sent him anywhere. So he'll race there this weekend, and then off to the Meadows with Neptune. Rock Shining Star, yeah, he was a little flat. He fit in perfect. He fit in perfect with the entire way our stable has raced this week. Just a little off. Scope fine. I bet you the blood will come back okay. Maybe his liver's a little high. I don't know. We'll get that taken first of the week, but we'll continue to treat him as if that was the case. We talked about 3-point blue chip a minute ago with Dave. Trosa, I had a great conversation with the veterinarian today too about Trosa. Going to do a little procedure on his throat also. Same thing we did with Delicious Stone DK. He believes the reason he was bleeding, a major component of that was that laxity in his palate, and he wants to have the surgeon fix it. I certainly don't have a problem with it. I doubt Daniel does either. Mr. Scratch last night because he was sick. Again, it's going around everywhere. And just to be clear, there's been no crossover from Northfield or the Meadows to Stacy's barn, so there's no way. Like this is how encompassing this virus is. It doesn't take long to run through the industry. Some get it, some don't. Much like us, when we're sick, you might be across from a coworker that was sick, is sick, or is getting sick, but that doesn't mean that you are going to get sick. And that's exactly the way it is with horses. Why is everybody getting off here? Delicious Stone DK is the only horse in our barn right now that is on fire. The horse, and that is great to say and great to hear. Here's a horse that tortured us for a year of sickness, lameness, mediocrity, and then got to a place where, and this is, to be honest, this is the whole reason that Momentum Worry's in Canada. That mediocre kind of fashion, it runs hand in hand. It's indicative of weight loss. And when you have a smaller, skinnier horse that you have trouble putting and keeping weight on, there's nothing more frustrating. If you're a horseman out there, you know it. I've had a million emails from people saying, did you try marshmallow root? Did you try this? Did you try that? Did you try mustard? No, we've tried everything. I would feed him mustard on hot dogs if I thought he would put weight on. He's not grotesquely skinny, Like, it's not like you see him in the paddock, you're like, oh, what are they doing racing that horse? No, he's not there. But he's lighter than he should be. And I have to believe that there's implications with that, right? And one of those would be a little less velocity than you'd like to see. If we could turn Memento Mori into a 53, 54 trotter instead of the 55 he was, he'd be a useful horse anywhere. But again, that thin line you're talking about, right? That last hurdle. You just get him there. We know he can trot there. He did before. We need to get him back there. And he has been struggling. I have struggled. We've struggled collectively as a group to get him there. I know that. We don't need reminded of it, but I believe we're close. And then Patrick the Piranha, a resurgence somewhat. I drove him conservatively yesterday, partially because how flat our horses have been. You know, that wanes on me too, right? You go on the track, and it doesn't matter what the odds are on our horses. There's always that voice in your head saying, if he's not good, how are you going to drive him or her? So it plays a negative role with my confidence in us, in our barn also. But with Patrick, he was in tough. He raced as good as he could, finished up well again. 51-3, 27 flat on the end of it. 50 flat last week, 26-4 on the end of it. He's racing well. So I'd like to keep that going. So there's an update on the entire barn. I've been as forthcoming as I can with every issue. My thoughts on every situation in the barn, and I hope it does some good. So take care. We'll talk to you soon, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. Aside from the horses not racing great, and honestly, if I'm going to be completely frank, I'm not really looking forward to today. You know, I love the horses, but Arrowhead's buried. Millie Girl's coming off 2 weeks. She's close to being turned out. Freedom Hill's coming back in 4 days. Time is on my side. He hasn't raced in almost 5 weeks. Resolve Indeed, again, finished second the other day, but how's she going to be? 7-1 morning line has me concerned. And then Greatest Ending, again, when he's good, he's good. It's tough to get him there. It's tougher to keep him there. And hopefully he's on his way. So, trying my best to be optimistic, but I am cautiously optimistic as we get closer to today's races. Take care. We'll talk to you all very soon. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.